how difficult it is for you to face the truth about Elizabeth. Your childhood sweetheart, the mother of your children.
I can admit when Elizabeth is wrong, but she did not try to kill you.
No, to her, I'm just an obstacle. All along, she's been lying and manipulating to try to hold on to you.
You're still recovering from surgery, and you're still reeling from the fact that all of this has happened. It's this terrible mistake.
No, it wasn't a mistake. Elizabeth found the perfect opportunity to get me out of the way, and she took it. She deliberately gave me the wrong medication.
Siobhan, you have every right to be angry. You almost died. But this is not Elizabeth's fault that you got hurt. If you need to be angry with someone, then be angry with me.
How many times have I told you to stop blaming yourself? I
I'm
don't.
the one who set the fire. I set this whole thing into motion, and you could have died.
Well, and it would have been an accident.
That's exactly what this was with Elizabeth. It was an accident.
Elizabeth knew exactly what she was doing.
Siobhan, the only reason that she was in the OR that night was because of the lockdown. Elizabeth had no idea that you were the patient.
Well, and when the opportunity presented itself, she grabbed it with both hands.
No. She may be guilty of coming back to work too soon after Jake died, but I refuse to believe that she would do anything.
You refuse to believe. It breaks my heart how you just continue to defend her like clockwork. And it just confirms to me what you've been telling me all along about how messed up your relationship is. And that you've never been able to get past seeing Elizabeth as this innocent victim that you had to rescue as a teenager, a role that she's all too willing to play.
Our relationship became dysfunctional. You're right. And Elizabeth and I have no business being together. Come on, Siobhan, listen to me. She did not try to kill you. I'm just trying to resolve this so that no one gets hurt any worse by events I set in motion. So what's it going to take? What's it going to take for you to drop the malpractice suit?
I'm this jealous wife staking my claim, and that isn't why I'm suing Elizabeth.
No, you almost died on the operating table because of her mistake. I understand that you're angry, but you're also making a lot of assumptions that just aren't true. That Elizabeth is capable of murder, that you're somehow standing in the way of a reconciliation between us just because Aiden's my son.
Well, I'm not threatened because you turned out to be Aiden's father.
Good. Good, because all I want with Elizabeth is what we already have, which is a comfortable co-parenting situation.
And Elizabeth, you really think that that's all she wants?
What does it matter? And honestly, yes, I think she's happy that we've finally been able to get to a place where we can create a positive environment for the boys. But that can't be the case if you're suing her and the rest of the hospital and dragging her into court. I mean, think about that. Think about that, what that would do to the kids. At least for their sake, let this go.
Back off the lawsuit. Let Elizabeth off the hook, and you'll stay with me.
Right. Remember?
For a green card, and for more time to get to know each other.
Right. But I'm also committed to being the best father that I can be, and that means I'm going to raise Aiden with Elizabeth. Just the same way that I have with Cam and Jake.
Sorry, Lucky. I know how you're grieving. But like I said before, Elizabeth is using your grief.
She made an honest mistake, Siobhan.
Do you hear yourself defending her?
You're basically accusing her of attempted murder. Look, and once she got you out of the way, then what? You honestly think I'd just go rushing back to her? How can you ever imagine that happening, knowing our history? Look, we're both trying to move on. That's what's happening here.
Twice the test showed that Aiden was your brother's child. But Elizabeth didn't want to accept it. She wasn't trying to move on. She ordered another test.
Right, which finally showed the truth, that I'm Aiden's father.
Oh, Elizabeth's dream come true. You know, I bought into the whole mother grieving over the loss of her child story. I did. But a woman can be just as calculating and manipulative while she's carrying grief. You know, Elizabeth, She came to my hospital room, all full of concern and helpful advice. And she warned me. She warned me that I would lose you if I didn't drop the lawsuit. I don't want to lose you. But I can't lie. And I don't want to see you get sucked back into that woman.
Do you think that suing her is going to keep us from getting back together? Don't you see what you're doing here? You're forcing me to defend Elizabeth. The only reason that she made a mistake in the OR that night was because she's still grieving. So don't do this. Don't tell me you're going to move forward with the lawsuit for my own good.
Dr. Ralston, please report to the helipad.
For your own good, Lucky. Let it go.
Listen, I talked to Siobhan, and she decided to drop the malpractice suit.
Wow, that's that's welcome news. Thank you very much. Let me just say that we're all sorry about what happened to Siobhan. Mistakes were made, not only Elizabeth in the OR, everybody on staff. She wasn't ready to go back to work, and we covered for her.
Now, I understand why Elizabeth wanted to keep working. You know, losing Jake tore a hole in the middle of our lives, and you just try to hang on to anything you can, get through the day.
Well, it sounds like your relationship with Siobhan is important to her. The fact that she would understand that. Obviously, your marriage means a lot to her.
So it would seem.
Nurse Ann Warren.
Yeah, well, I guess with the lawsuit dropped, we can all try and move on, right?
Yeah, it sounds good, doesn't it? It's nice to say that. You know, the thing is, Patrick, when you lose a kid, there's no moving on. Jake's gone. It's just the way it is. And now my father took off. Brother's gone. Elizabeth, I don't even know.
You know, Lucky, you have a son to raise now. All those milestones. His first word, his first step. You know, I talked to Nicholas a few times about parenthood, and it was pretty easy to see how dedicated he was. I'm sure it must have been difficult to hear that Aiden wasn't his.
Yeah, that's an understatement. You know, he could have fought to hold on to him, but in the end, he decided to do what was best for Aiden.
Well, kind of sounds like that's what Siobhan's doing. Now you and Elizabeth can raise your boy without that lawsuit hanging over your head.
Hey.
So, Siobhan decided to drop the lawsuit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm so used to getting bad news, I don't believe it.
It's true.
Please come in.
It's...
Thank you for telling me in person. I know how angry Siobhan was. I know what an uncomfortable position this put you all in. I mean, what it must have taken to convince her, I can't imagine.
Well, nothing good was going to come from her suing you. I mean, a lot of people could get hurt, and it was just a matter of helping Siobhan see that, I guess.
I'm so grateful. And not just for me, but for the entire hospital. Now they don't have to pay for my mess up.
No, you can beat yourself up about it, or you can learn from it. I mean, that's what you're always telling me, right?
Well, and I guess before I put any more patients in danger, or you burn down any more houses, maybe we should just take a moment and really heal from Jake's loss.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that Aiden's my son. You know, this person that we made together.
It's a miracle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Listen, Elizabeth, the fact that Aiden's my son, it doesn't change everything that went wrong with us. I mean, we can't just ignore that.
I know. I mean, you're married.
Right.
You're married.
It seemed like the right thing to do. I mean, I didn't want her to leave the country, you know?
Yeah.
And, man, I mean, Siobhan's been through a lot. Moving here and the fire. Oh. When she woke up from surgery, I promised her that I wanted to be there for her.